Alright, I want to talk about the deconstruction of the piece breath and how I created the ostinatos so that there would be a polyrhythm that would go throughout the piece. And so the very first thing I want to do is play the first ostinato, which is on kind of a vibraphone sound, which is a tuned percussion sound. And let me play that first for you so that you can hear that. So that ostinato goes throughout the piece almost continuously. When it cuts out, it doesn't really, the notes don't change too much. It's sort of the constant in the piece. Of course, this is in 5/4, so there's a lot of syncopation in that particular ostinato. Now let me go down and play the second ostinato, and this is one that comes in and out. And it's not continuous, but it is important. So let me start right where that is. And this is on a bell-like sound, sort of a synth bell sound. And you may have noticed that that one did not repeat like the first ostinato. So the first ostinato is fairly constant on the vibe sound. So what I'm going to do is start this at measure 3, and so that you can hear one measure of the vibes by themselves, and then with the bells coming in. So I'll play those two together so you can hear how they work together. Okay, so let me go back and play the third ostinato, and this is on a marimba sound. This is a two-fisted keyboard part. It's written for keyboard, but it could also be played on an acoustic marimba. It's 4 notes at a time, and it's a very steady quarter note rhythm. So this is establishing more of the 5/4 feel. And you can also see from the score that when the marimba parts are playing, the right and left hand, the bells are not active. They are active when the marimba is holding out these notes here, or when they're dying away. So I play just the marimba part so you can hear that sort of steady 5/4 beat. Well, I need to put both of those on. Let me try that again. And that repeats, so every 2 measures it changes. And that keeps the steady pulse. So what I'm going to do is put all 3 of these parts together so that when everything is playing together, you'll hear what we call polyrhythm. So it has a tendency to have a floating rhythmic sound. And of course, all of the harmonic language is built into these 3 ostinatos, which go throughout the piece. I want to play one more part for you, and that is the synthesizer sound. And one of the things I like to add is, in addition to all of this percussive sound, which has a very definite beginning and has a very definite rhythmic element as well as establishing the harmonies, I want to have something that's softer that fills in like a cloud of sound, so that in addition to all of these polyrhythms, also have sort of this swirling, more amorphous kind of sound that is not rhythmic at all. It's all about timbre and color. So let me play all 4 of the parts together so that you can hear what happens when you add the percussion with the ambient sound. is how breath begins, and those elements remain more or less constant throughout the piece, changing a bit here and there, but that's the underpinnings that the voices are laid on top of, the bass is laid on top of, all the little untuned percussion elements are laid on top of.